So heaven and hell might be real one day. Or actually, I should say they will be real one day. But why is that important? Why am I talking about that now? Well, it's important and relevant because this company is going to exist in both of those worlds, in both of those planes of existence. So, as the one presenting these ideas, I'm under obligation to both. And many more worlds. I'm not just talking about those two worlds. See, because while it might seem very simple, you could think of this prototype that I'm in right now as like I'm driving a manual car with no power steering, and it's very difficult to express or to see it. But in the future, it's going to be all so quick, so fast, so much processing power. And you might say to me things like, no, but Warren, those worlds, we have them under control. It's fine. And we are the makers of those worlds. It's going to be fine. And I'm saying maybe, but I'm sure a pilot also thinks about that right before they crash a plane. Like, I've been flying this plane for 20 years or whatever, and they think they have it under control. Even the machines and things, the autopilot thinks it has it under control, but there's unforeseen circumstances and people end up getting hurt. I mean, all we need to do is take a look up at the night sky and look how big the universe is, and then we realize that we are not as in control of our reality as sometimes we think we are, which is another reason for this company, because I believe it is a powerful tool that will help us maybe not tame the universe, but not be mauled and ravaged by it. I suppose I could use that metaphor for me as well, of the pilot crashing a plane because he thought he had it under control and whatever, but the difference here is that I'm under no illusion that I have this entire company under control, because it is a wild idea and it covers a wide range of areas and departments and things like that. And that is why I've been asking for help with it, because I believe it will require collective effort. These videos are pretty much a call for help, like as to what do we do with this? Because in the end, there's going to have to be people who work at In Your Head Production, or beings that work at In Your Head Productions, and then there's also going to be the customers and the users who just want fancy features and they just want things to just happen automatically. Why am I not under the illusion that I control In Your Head Productions? Well, there's a very simple reason for that. Because to control In Your Head Productions, the entirety of it means to control the minds of pretty much everyone. To control the minds of any beings with a head, and which is just too much responsibility for one person to handle. I mean, it sounds like a dictator's dream, doesn't it? But in the end, they'll realize that the responsibility is too much, it's too heavy, especially if you've got your own life to live, and now you have to worry about everybody else's life. So in that way, the company is also beautiful, in that it resists trying to be controlled by one person. It's a sort of unifier of consciousness, but also capable of allowing individual thought. Ah yes, we are all connected, right? This takes it to a whole nother level. But it is, as I said before, there are going to be people who work at In Your Head Productions, and then there are going to be the users or the customers that they just want features. Their dream isn't to work for In Your Head Productions. They want to do their own things and live their own life, but they still want some of those cool features, and they also want a virtual space for their mind where they can sit and reflect and, who knows, maybe interact with their own subconscious, and just a nice personal space in their own mind. So yeah, but why would people want to work at In Your Head Productions and go through all of that to maintain all of that? Because they get the user features as well, but if they're well paid, I would imagine they'd be happy staff members. Some people may be watching this sometime in the future, and they might get angry. They might be like, why did the TikTok algorithm, or why did these algorithms on the internet hide something this important and this big from me for so long? And I say, don't be angry at the company. I mean, it's all about people. People like seeing cute puppies and kittens playing and falling over, and they like people doing like cool dances and things like that. Like that's what gets the views and the likes. There's only really few people that will pick up on what I'm saying and that will find it genuinely interesting. And those are the people I'm looking for, because they can help me spread this message and get it to the right people and get it to the right individuals, that we can make this a success. I do apologize, it's been a couple of days since my last post. There were a few personal matters that I had to attend to, but now that that's sorted out, we can get back to the presentation at hand. Some of you might have thought that I ran out of things to say or ran out of ideas, but in just over an hour of TikToks, we have barely scratched the surface of capability with In Your Head Productions. But wouldn't that have been funny if the channel did end there at my last post, and I just end up being one of those mysteries on the internet, just this random guy talking about a company and a random artwork. I'd end up one of those mysteries on like Nick Crowley's channel, or Lazy Masquerade, or Abyssal Detective, just one of those mysteries, or like a creepypasta. Some say Warren still haunts the artwork to this day. It's very strange. It's like less than a week since I've started posting or doing TikToks, and that now they're limiting the number of hashtags to 5 hashtags per video, which is very limiting, but I think we can deal with it. I've just got to keep at it. We just keep posting, and I think everything will be alright. But let's move on to the next topic of discussion with In Your Head Productions. So we have the profile, we have the personal information, we got all those suggestions out there. But now let's talk about products. Now, where I want to start with this, it's all going to lead up to something. So let's prepare ourselves, because firstly, we are going to be talking about clothing, attire, clothing. Ah, yes, clothing. Now, when I say clothing and In Your Head Productions, what direction do we go with this? To begin, I'll start with what I envision. I would like custom clothing. What do I mean by that? I'm just trying to be more specific. Custom clothing. So, based on everything I've previously said about the profile, and you have your own In Your Head Productions profile, your own logo, and your own sort of setup and theme going. Now we have a factory or manufacturer who makes custom clothing with tribal designs or spots and checkered things and those sorts of things, but with spaces for the logo on the artwork. But what do we do with that space? To recap what I said in the previous post, now we have lots of different patterns, different fabrics, different shirts, maybe hoodies, maybe jackets, you name it, clothing, attire. But in special places, wherever the designers are like thinking, or whatever would be convenient, on your side, on your back, on the front, by your chest, by your heart, by your shoulder, just blank spaces in every single design of the clothing. Now, any person who has an In Your Head Productions profile, they'll have their unique icon. So when they order a piece of clothing, you just print their icon in